Hello, all my Soldier Knights. Welcome to the second installment of my top 5 generational heroes series, where I basically take 5 comic book characters from that were either created in a certain generation or they were established in a certain generation where they gained most of their popularity and their highest point of, you know, creativity, and we'll basically go over them. And for this one, this is the 1940s. You can see my 1930s one if you go look through my playlist and stuff. You'll find that one. So this is the 1940s. We're going to start off at number 5 with Captain Marvel, or more commonly known these days as Shazam, even though it's not his character name, so it's kind of odd. But Captain Marvel, Billy Baxton, is a really fun, lighthearted character that catches the true essence of being a child and being he's the ultimate wish fulfillment of a superhero. He's a little kid, says a magic word, turns into a big, strong, mighty hero that can't be hurt, at least not very easily. He's always been kind of a cheesy, corny character. I mean, look at the costume, but he is definitely one of the most funnest characters, and he has a movie coming out soon that actually looks to be a lot of fun. So yeah, definitely a really fun, awesome character, very powerful, rivals Superman in his power level. In some versions, even whoop the ass of Superman. So we'll see. He has some interesting villains too. I mean, we get Black Adam, one of the best DC villains is from this character originally. I forget his name, the little worm character, just a great fun character. I mean, just lots of zaniest stuff came from this title. At number 4, we have Ted Grant, the Wildcat himself. I've always really admired Wildcat for being kind of that, especially nowadays, he's kind of become that default centric, street level hero, the hero that has more heart than he has power, where his power comes from his ability to keep fighting and not give up, is that iron will, that resilience that really shows the best of humanity. That's what is great about Wildcat. He's a true fighter. He's a boxer. He doesn't back down from a fight very easily, if at all. He's always first man in, first man out. He's very much just a great strong character foundation for the character. I mean, he has no real special powers. He's just a boxer. He's just a everyday normal street fighter kind of guy. But over the years he's trained so many characters. He's been influential for so many characters, especially like Black Canary, Green Arrow, The Question. He's been in the background of those characters, helping them out, training them and stuff. It's just a really fun character, and he's very much the epitome of the everyday man taking a stand against crime. That's a lot of what Wildcat stands for. And I've always liked the way he's kind of handled. He's this old kind of bitter boxer character. It's really fun. Next up at number 3, we have Jay Garrick, the original Flash, the first man to handle the mantle of the Flash, and just my personal favorite version of the Flash, and favorite character to have the mantle. Jay Garrick, he just has that really old timey, classy personality. Scientist, gentleman. He's from a different era, and he's always fun to read, especially like in Jeff Jones's Justice Society. He was one of my favorite characters to read about because he just had such a elegant kind of like rhythm to his style and his speed, and his costume was a very fun old-fashioned costume. He's just kind of a blast from the past, and it kind of sounds cheesy, but I've always really enjoyed this character. Definitely Super Speed's one of my favorite abilities, and he's one of my favorite characters that has that ability. Next up at number 2 is Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific is not the most well-known character. He's more well-known now with the newer installment of his character, that's portrayed by Michael Hall. But he is still a really interesting character. I've always enjoyed the original Mr. Terrific just as much as the newer Mr. Terrific. He's kind of an interesting character because his main ability, or his main thing he has to offer, is that he's really good at learning. Like that's his thing, is he knows how he can learn all kinds of stuff, and it all sticks in his head. He has a photographic memory. He's highly trained in just about everything that a person can do. His original background story is that he started doing professional sports and acrobatics and martial arts, and he kept getting bored because he kept mastering everything. And by the time he was 20, he had a college education and all this other stuff, and he was getting ready to kill himself. He didn't think there was anything left to do, and he was about to jump off a bridge until he saw a crime happening and decided to help fight it, and that's gave him a reason to live, was superhero hooks. So it's a really interesting character from that standpoint. And at number 1 is a character that shouldn't really surprise anybody. That's my number 1 pick. Plastic Man. I've talked about Plastic Man a lot on this channel, and I love this character. He's so fun, zany, you know. Yeah, but he has so many different layers to his character. Like, his stories can be really dark and, you know, demonic, especially in the Golden Age, or they can be more, you know, comical and lighthearted. They can be emotional. Jet Cole was just a brilliant storyteller in the way he could bring the wacky and the strange and unusual to the pages. And Plastic Man was a perfect catalyst for that because of his power set. You could do all kinds of stuff with that power set, turning into things, you know, changing the different shapes and sizes and everything. And Plastic Man is kind of like the perfect rehabilitation story. You know, he's a criminal, petty criminal that gets hurt, and he gains powers, and he realizes that he's been given a second chance, and this is a miracle. So he decides to start fighting crime instead of causing it. It's just the ultimate kind of redemption story. And I've always really liked the character for that. I always also like that he uses his secret identity as a criminal to infiltrate other criminal organizations and to get insight into the criminal world. It was always really intriguing to me. Similar to how Batman uses the Matches Malone persona as an undercover thing. Well, guys, that's all I have for my top 5 list of my top favorite 1940s characters. Stay tuned for the next installment. We'll be in the top 5 70s characters. I'm just kidding. It'll be the top 5 50s characters, and so check that one out. It might be coming within the next week or so. I'm sorry this one came so much later, but thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later.